All right, we've been talking about it since 4 o'clock, right? We all know today is Halloween, and safety is top of mind for many families all across our region.
That's right. Cory Wenter with Pangea Consulting is joining us to talk about what you need to know to stay safe this spooky season. Cory, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.
So let's start here. Obviously, parents are getting ready to send some teenagers out, maybe for the first time on their own, to go trick-or-treating, and they might be a little bit nervous. What should parents be telling their teens and also telling themselves to make sure they stay calm and their teens are safe?
Well, parents know their kids more than anyone, so that's a good starting point. Our oldest daughter has a whole strategy where they're going to go, hitting the house with the biggest candy bars first.
Yeah.
If that's your child, have that conversation with them. You can make some good, easy plans. If your child was more like me, a little less predictable, maybe you want to have a farther conversation, help them with the strategy, make sure you know who they're going to be hanging out with, who their parents are, that kind of thing is probably a really good starting point.
Where do you feel like is a safe, I mean, it's different for every family, I guess, but where do you feel like is a safe age to let them on their own, to sit down and have a plan with them, or kind of feel like, you know what, I'll hang back about 30 yards, you know, so you can still be the cool dad, but still watch and protect them, right? You got 2 daughters, so what's kind of that fine line there?
I think, again, it comes down to your child. For our 10-year-old, we're giving her a lot more distance. She is very, she checks in, she's on her, gab watch. It's a different thing. For our 5-year-old, I guarantee by the time she's 15, we're still going to be having her pretty close because she's an adorable savage. So it really depends.
An adorable savage.
I love that. That's perfect. She doesn't even need a Halloween costume.
No.
They should put that and market that.
That's great.
It's been going on since I've been a kid, right? We were warned about all the bad things that were in candy. It was the razor blades when I was a kid, and now we're talking about drugs like fentanyl that look like candy. But a lot of this is getting harder to spot. So what should parents do about that without also kind of freaking their kids out about, oh, there could be bad stuff in here? How do you strike that balance, but also keep them safe?
Yeah, we always try to point out what the real risks are, and you're right, there's a lot of myths, there's a lot of ideas. In the same way people have, misconceived notions about what to do during an earthquake, it's the same thing for this. So when our kids come home, we do have them dump it on the floor. They want to in the living room, and we're looking, we're paying attention. If there's anything, the biggest risks in that are actually allergies and choking hazards. So those are actually a far greater risk statistically than fentanyl or anything else. But of course, you're getting stuff from strangers. Take a look at what they're going to be taking with them and what you're okay with and not. I think that's a much more reasonable approach.
And Cory, of course, there's always a dad tax, right? You have to try the candy before your kids
Naturally.
That's just being safe. For people who are moving to the Charlotte area, because we have so many people coming here each and every day, say you haven't canvassed your new neighborhood yet and you're not sure, is this a safe neighborhood for my kids to go out, and what can they do today because we're hours away from kids hitting the streets?
If they have time, I would say, because it is today, drive through the neighborhood you're planning on going. If it's your own neighborhood, hopefully you've canvassed it anyway because you're living there now and they've helped you decide you're going to live there. But outside of that, the biggest thing you can do is trust your instincts, your intuition, particularly moms. If you have a bad feeling about it, if you don't think that that's a great neighborhood to go, just trust that. It can be that simple because you may not have time between now and tonight to go and do that whole surveillance and see what makes sense. The last thing I would say is give them a little bit of tools. It is very clear what house you should walk up to and what house you shouldn't. If it is a dark home with no Halloween things outside, they need to avoid that. And reminding them of that is really smart. The ones that are inviting and loud and busy, that's obviously a home you want to go to.
A couple of quick tips if you can give to our viewers. I've heard you recommend before, if you don't want people coming to your door and you don't want to open it all night, maybe you move it out to the end of the driveway, with other neighbors. You can do a little fire pit or something like that, or have a dad crew to walk around with the kids. What do you say about some of those?
That's exactly what we do. We pop up a table at the end of our driveway. We don't want to open our door to hundreds of strangers in masks, right? It's a weird thing. We would never normally do this. And Halloween's great. It's magical, and we don't want to take the magic away. But this seems to me like a good balance. And it also does interact with all the neighbors. And you're really actually able to watch the most concerning thing during Halloween, which is vehicles and kids. That is the #1 risk by far. It's not apples and razor blades or fentanyl. It is cars, distracted drivers, and distracted children.
And on that note, anything that parents should do to make their kids more visible? We've heard about it before, but just some reminders if they're wandering around, you can't keep that eye on them.
My wife, one of the things we give out is glow sticks, little glow sticks. So those are, kids love them. You break them for them, help them put them on their costume. Is a really good way to be seen. But also, yes, the dad crew. I mean, get dads more involved, have them stand at the crosswalks, control cars. Like, I would take ownership of that because that is the #1 thing, and we really want them seen. And on the children's side, it's seen and be seen. They need to be able to see themselves, so the costumes need to be smart. They need to be able to see peripheral vision. They can't be entirely enclosed, and they need to have something on them so they can be seen and reflective and lit up.
I mean, nothing kills a Chewbacca costume like a bright yellow traffic vest, right? So maybe a glow stick is a good idea.
stick is much
Chewbacca
better.
goes to a rave. There you go.
Okay.
There it is.
A Chewbacca cross guard. There's ways to combine these things.
There we go. Cory, thank you so much for joining us.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.